Today, I'm talking to the version of you that is too scared to quit. And not because you don't want to, not because you don't know that you need to be doing something different, that your skills, your talents, and your ideas are being wasted in the spaces that you are, but because it is absolutely terrifying to make the change from your 9 to 5 job into your own business, even though you may be facing overwhelm and burnout. So hello and welcome. If you are seeing me for the first time, my name is Rachel Charles and I'm a corporate career coach, speaker and consultant, and I help overwhelmed professionals to transition from their 9 to 5 into successful and sustainable businesses without burnout. And today I'm speaking to the version of you that's too scared to quit because I recognize that version in myself. And there is so much noise saying, just do it, just take the leap and grow your wings on the way down and all that kind of stuff. Just take the chance and do it. What are you waiting for? But that doesn't always help because the issue isn't always logistics. Many of us, and I know that I was one of those before I actually took the leap, I had the plans, I had the strategies, I had everything written down as to what I needed to do. But the issue wasn't logistics. The issue was fear. So today I'm going to look at that fear in 3 parts. Why it's there, what to do with it, and how to move forward. So number 1, you're in the grip, your stomach is in knots, you're feeling frustrated, you know you want to move, but you can't just seem to find the way to get out of it. Fear is normal, and if you weren't feeling fear at this moment, knowing that you want to get out of your corporate job or your 9 to 5, wherever you are, and move into your business, if you weren't feeling fear, I think there was something wrong with you. Every single person who has transitioned into their own business from their full-time job has felt that fear. And I've done the transition and I was scared too, let me tell you. I was so scared that I ran my business on the side for a lot longer than I needed to because I was still too scared to jump out. And I had so many people saying, Rachel, haven't you said you wanted to leave? Haven't you said that you're going to go into business? Haven't you said that you're going to? As much as that could have been encouraging, that never really helped me. It just made me feel even more scared with, what if it doesn't work? What if I let them down? And in the end, I ended up doing it scared and making the transition scared, because the other thing about fear is that it does not disappear. What happens is that your relationship to fear changes. And this leads us into, what do we do with that fear? So when it came to the fear that I was facing when I wanted to transition from my job, I didn't stamp it out. You can never really stamp out fear. But like I said, your relationship to it changes, and I learned to work with it. There was someone who spoke about fear as being a passenger in your car, and that is really how you need to deal with fear. Imagine that person who comes into your car and the first thing that they get in, they want to set the temperature, they want to turn the music on, they want to set the sat nav, they want to tell you where to stop. That's not how fear needs to behave when it's coming on your journey. Fear needs to be the passenger. So think about the person who gets into the car, and as soon as they get into the car and they close the door, they start to sleep. That is how you need to treat fear. Fear has to be the passenger in the back who does not control the temperature, who does not tell you which way to go, who does not set the music. And when I'm using this analogy, what I'm saying is, we do not make decisions from a place of fear. Fear is the silent sleeper in the back of the car on the journey, who is always going to be there, but is not going to be making an input into your decision making going forward. And when fear pops up and you're feeling that feeling in your stomach or your head or your throat, your chest, however it pops up for you, you really need to turn around and look at it. Look at it squarely and name it. What are you scared about? I know for me, one of my main fears was, am I going to make enough money? And I had to name it. I'm feeling scared about moving forward. I had to look at, what exactly am I scared about? Write it down and dissect it. And when you look at it firmly, this is what I'm scared about, guess what? It actually starts to shrink, because you can start looking at, this is where the logistics come in. You can start looking at, okay, that's what I'm scared about, but it isn't logical, because if I do that, that, and that takes away that stress. That takes away that fear. That solves the problem, and so there is no fear. And that's where documenting your journey comes in. It's really important to have evidence that allows you to build trust in the process. The more you can look at what you've done and how you've moved forward and how you've developed and how you've grown, each step towards your goal is actually proof that it can be done. And then what you see is that even though you might be met with new challenges, the fact that you've been able to get through the previous challenges makes it possible for you to look at these new challenges as just new versions of old problems. Your problem solving muscle gets a lot stronger, especially when you test yourself incrementally. So you try out new things, you test it, you review it, you build slowly, and that way you also build resilience. And so if this is you right now, what do you do? If this is you right now, and you know that the way that you're feeling right now, overwhelmed, near burnout, you've got to the point where you've had enough, those feelings you can never unfeel, those things you cannot unsee, but you still feel scared, you don't have to jump right now, but I need you to listen. Start small. The plans that you have that have been sitting there that you might have written down meticulously, start looking at how do you use them, how do you start working them so that you can have intentional days that roll into weeks, that collate into months, that moves you closer towards your goals. Secondly, speak to a coach. The first thing I did in 2023, when I sat there and I thought, this is it, I am done, I have had enough, was get a coach. I knew that if I needed to do something so big, so drastic, so transformative, there was absolutely no way that I would be able to do it by myself in the time frame that I had set for myself. Get help. This is not a journey that you ever need to do on your own. And by getting a coach, there are some things, there are options that will be placed in front of you that you would never have thought up on your own. And the third thing that I want you to do is to get really honest with yourself and ask yourself, what is it that you want more than your current uncomfortable but comfortable situation that you find yourself in right now? Because many of us are sitting in spaces where we've made ourselves comfortable, even though it's uncomfortable, even though it might be draining us. I usually say it's draining the living life out of us. We're feeling washed out, drained and burnt out, but it's comfortable because we're used to it, because it's recognizable. What is it that you want more than that feeling? And when you do all of that and you compare where you are to where you think you want to be, sometimes it can make you feel like, oh, why am I still here? Don't start shoulding on yourself, right? You can still be in that space where you feel that you don't have the strength to move forward. That does not make you weak. It does not make what you've done so far a failure. It can sometimes even feel disheartening. But what you have to really realize is the fact that you're here and you're watching this video and you're having those thoughts yourself is that your mind is starting to catch up to how your body's feeling. And that's a good thing. So even though the progress may be small, it's still progress and you're moving forward. If you'd like more help and a bit of clarity in where do I go from here, what do I do next, I've provided the first 3 chapters of my ebook for free. It's called Own Your Wings on Purpose. And in the first chapter, it goes through how to work through the 5 W's for yourself, business and life. And what you need to do is download that and work through the 5 W's of self. It will work you through the who, where, what, when, why, and then the how will come. So if you are feeling that fear and you know that this is your time to push through, let me know how it feels for you and how you were able to put fear in the back seat. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.